Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. All right, so I am live. It is Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Central Florida, United States of America. It is November the 14th. I think it's the 14th. Yes. So if you're not on that time and that date with me, you're watching this in the replay, the archive, which is great. But hey, Nancy. Hey, Clumsy. Who else is out there? There's a couple people out there. So thanks for hanging out with me. Nancy, I appreciate you being here because you got a blue wrench, which means you're an admin. Um, um, Hopefully you're going to hang out for a while in case some trolls come in, but whatever. Trolls, schmoles. Um, yeah, we're going to explore. So, what this video is going to be about, we're going to explore the zodiac personalities of the court cards. And there's that smile. Yes, here's my smile. I know. I have been, and I'll just give you a quick update where I've been. So, there was 2 weeks of vacation. Then I came home and then I went right back out for a retreat. And then during all this time, literally 2 months from yesterday, I said to 2 months from tomorrow, I said to a kind of a coworker, she was in a different department. I said, hey, if a position ever opens up in your department, which is corporate wellness, I said, let me know. And she said, oh my gosh, one's open up. So literally said Wednesday the 15th, I said, what? Thursday the 16th, I got my resume together because I haven't had one for 20 years because I have been in the same position for 18 of those years. Friday, I submitted my resume. The following Tuesday, I had my first interview. While I was on a 2 week vacation, I had my second interview where I had to present a little slideshow. It was only 10 to 15 minutes, but the interview was like 30 minutes. Came back, I had to call my two bosses and say, guess what? I got a new job. When I come home, you only got me another month. And mind you, I've been in this position almost 18 years. So, and I manage group exercise instructor. So it was a big shock for a lot of people. It was a big shock for me, but the pandemic has brought a lot of stuff about. This has been a year of death for me. This, with my birth path 314 and then the year 221, that equals 13. And that's the death card. It's also number 4. We said goodbye to Jade, an outside cat. A week later, we said goodbye to Bartolomeo, just a connection that I had. I cried more over this cat than any other being. Sebastian, the other cat, almost went out, but we got him on some oral steroids. He's fine. May 1st, Sheldon, our dachshund of 19 and a half years old, we had to say goodbye to him. My sister-in-law succumbed to COVID. So it has been, and then this transition in my career after 18 years is like a death. But for me, it's more of a rebirth because where I'm going into corporate wellness is amazing. So yeah, huge shock, but good long notice. Yeah. So hey, who else popped in? Is it Connie? Connie Dijon? Hello and welcome. Looks like Virgo. Is that what I'm seeing right there? Or is that Scorpio? The icon's tiny. I think it's Virgo. Um, Thank you, World According to Wit. Congratulations. Thank you on the new position. Yes, I'm very excited. 1 week down, and it was really odd because I'm working, like most of the time I was working, I got a laptop and 2 monitors right there. So I've got a second office space, and I'll probably be working from home office 2 days a week and then going on to campuses and facilitating a culture of health and well-being with all the resources that we have. So, all right, let's dive into the topic. So, Scorpio. Okay, it's so tiny because I always remember the tail, but it's so tiny I couldn't tell if it was the M with the swirl. But yay, Scorpios. I'm a Pisces. I'm a Pi baby, 314. So, first of all, I'd love to know, and if you're in the archive, tag me and I'll try to reply. But I'd love to know when you first started working with tarot, or have you heard people say, oh, the court cards, I just don't get them. I don't understand them. They're so difficult. I mean, there are entire books written on nothing but the court cards. So let me know if that's been one of your things. You're the butterfly transforming from the caterpillar. If you're talking about me, yes. My wings have well, they haven't fully opened up because I still got a lot to learn in my new position. They'll probably take a year to open up fully. But anyway, I'm loving it. So let me know about your experience with the court cards. So Nancy, I'm assuming me, like you had trouble with the court cards. I was in the bathroom just thinking about this. I was like, I don't recall having difficulty with the court cards. And it could have been because just my naivete and way of working, and very intuitive psychic kind of connection with the cards. And I just read a post that Tony from the World Divination Association reposted, and it said unpopular opinion. She reposted it. She didn't write this, but it said unpopular opinion. For those of you who say you read intuitively, I'm just gonna assume you're making shit up. And I thought, okay, that's funny, first of all, but it's part of the business because yes, there are charlatans and they are just making shit up. But I think, hey, Alvia, I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. Um, so good to see you. So what was I saying? So I was thinking about in the beginning. I think like if it was the outcome card and I pulled like the Queen of Wands, I would think, oh, well, the outcome's going to be hot and fiery and good. If it was, how's my day going to go? And I got the King of Swords, I may think, oh, I'm just going to be up in my head, or I may encounter a King of Swords, or I may need to be the King of Swords. So I think I just put myself into the position of the card, or just allowed it to be like how would a Queen of Wands, if I'm standing next to a Queen of Wands, how would I feel about them? Versus the Knight versus a Page. I think that's kind of how I did it. I read, let's see. So Connie, I am as a Scorpio woman, the Queen of Cups. We're going to talk about that because I'll tell you. Thank you for prompting me there, because yeah, that'll be a good one. So what I'm going to talk about today is what I found and resonated with me. And I'll just say it right now. In my world, Scorpio are the knights. And I did not make this up, but when I found this system, and I'll tell you where I got it, it just so resonated with me, because I always felt like, oh, I'm Queen of Cups. But then it was like, no, when I finally found this system, I was like, no, it makes more sense. I am the King of Cups, which is for me connected to Pisces. So the deck, I'm looking for it. So the deck I'm going to be focusing on is Tarot of Dreams by Ciro Marchetti. So for the last about 2 years, I've been working with this deck on my weekly readings, because on the cards are the symbols, the astrological symbols. The planets are there too. I am not into planets yet. That I'm thinking this may be my 2022 kind of thing, is to focus on the planets a little bit more. But I really wanted to be able to just pull any deck, like even just typical Rider Waite, and say, oh, Queen of Swords, I know she's Libra. So by working with these, then it became more intuitive, not intuitive, but I knew it better, like working with flashcards. So Clumsy said, when I started reading, I felt like I was constantly having to relay the court cards to a person in the actual sense. And with Yes, I get it. And like I said, I never felt I was forced. And maybe it was my teacher, maybe it was the books I read, but, or it's just the fact that when I look at someone who I know is a Scorpio, my father, I sense his energy. So if I see like a water sign, in the beginning it was like water sign would be like, oh, it could be Scorpio, it could be Pisces, it's emotional. That's kind of what it is. Um, Planets are cute, yes, and I know you know the planets. So we're gonna get into the planets one day. Monday I'll get into the planets. So, so this deck is when I started working with it and seeing where the signs fell, it just resonated with me so much more. And the first thing I want to talk about, I'll pop this open. So there's the deck I'm going to be using. I just got this. It's a kind of a selenite, like a flat wand. I got it as a going away present from a coworker, which just I love the fact that this coworker who just into crystals and stones, and they are a very practicing Muslim. So I really loved our conversations, outside of kind of her religious comfort zone, but essences, oils, and stones. Didn't get into cards or anything, but very homeopathic in nature. So I love that I got that from them. It was really kind of cool. So the first thing I want to talk about is, so knights, kings, queens. The pages, and I'm going to go through them individually. So screenshot, take notes. So pages in the work that I do don't have a specific sign. They are often the children, the students, immature. So they're kind of learning it all. They encompass all. So anytime a page comes up, Page of Cups, I would say, okay, this, the Page of Cups is Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. It's got all of those aspects in it. They're very watery. They're very intuitive kind of a vibe. Planets, houses, astrology, they're intertwined beautifully. They certainly are. I know enough to know that. Um, so the pages kind of encompass all of their element, the water, the air, the fire, the earth. The nights, so all the nights are fixed elements. So the nights are going to be your let's see, your Leo, your Scorpio, your Aquarius, and your Taurus. And here's why I love that, because a fixed energy resists change, perfects and finishes. Those are my thoughts on what and where what I've learned. So let me know if you feel differently and why. If you let me know if you think differently than me or what I'm saying, tell me the why, because this is where we can explore and all learn. So think of a knight, resist change. A knight is literally by the king told, go fight. They can be stubborn, they can resist change. They go out, they follow the orders, they finish the job. Totally sounds like a knight to me. Kings are the mutable signs. So for the kings, we're looking at Sagittarius, Pisces, which is me, Gemini, and Virgo. Those are those mutable signs. And if I get something wrong, you need to call me out on it, because I wrote it all down and I looked everything up, but I could totally be wrong on, especially like fixed, mutable, and cardinal. And then mutable signs can change, adjust to circumstances. And I thought, kings, they can rule with an iron fist, but boy, if they want to get more done, they adjust to the change. They create change within their worlds. I was thinking of The Crown, the TV show that we watched, and how when the royal family was getting a bad reputation, they adjusted it. They opened cameras to allow them to come into their world and see that they were just normal people, because everybody was ready to, like hang them and get rid of them. So it's like the kings have the ability to make that change. And I know it was the queen, but she was the leader. The queen was the leader. And I'm not saying the king can't be the queen, vice versa, but in that realms of hierarchy. And then queens are obviously then cardinals. The cardinals, and so the cardinal are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So those are the cardinal signs. And it just really made, a lot of sense to me seeing those. Because then if you do pull a queen, this queen is going to, and this is what cardinal signs kind of usually are associated with, initiate interaction with the outside world. So they're obvious, a lot of times, like, they're presentative. Is that a word? They're connecting with the outside world, because in Ciro Marchetti's Legacy of the Divine Tarot deck, the kings, you can see almost the entire body, and they show some of the castle around them. So a lot of times the kings are represented by what they own, the kingdom. Queens were just like from the bust up, and they were represented by what they have within them. That's where their power came from. And the knights on his deck, that deck, there's no face, there's no body, there's just a helmet. And Chiro said to me one time, he said, that's because it's just like they're told what to do. They don't really have a mind or a body. They're kind of drones to the king and do his bidding and his business. So that always resonated with me when I saw those. And again, coming back to kind of the knights being fixed, it's like they're fixed, they're told what to do. So Mark says, I see knights as mutable. They are on the move. Kings as cardinal as they lead the signs, and queens as fixed as they naturally exude the suit energy, no action needed. Excellent. Thank you, Mark. And this is the biggest thing. Do what works best for you and what you feel most comfortable with. The deck I'm going to show you is the signs that I just talked about. So we're gonna just kind of go over those, and that's really just all we wanted to kind of go over today. But Mark, absolutely, thank you, and that makes sense to me. I totally get it. I totally get it. So Any other thoughts about like when you first started and how the court cards were kind of awkward or weird? Um, and yes, and hey Mark, welcome. It's good to see you. Um, so I just want to kind of dive into and look over the cards. Like I said, these are usually about 30-minute sessions. So as we go through, so like I said, the pages for me kind of encompass, like all the signs. So the Page of Wands for me would encompass, Leo energy. It would encompass Aries energy. It would encompass Sagittarius. And I just put some kind of keywords. And let me know if you have any different. So let's see. Clumsy said it's funny because I personally have never related to my rising sign much, Taurus, but knowing my rising moon sign, there is more clarity with those signs. Cool. Very cool. So for me, like, and this, but I just kind of go over, I just found some sign kind of keywords that I really liked. So Aries, courage, will, self-focus, confident, initiate, first, hunter, enthusiasm. Um, and Leo, artistic, dramatic, regal, proud, leadership, performer. Yeah, those all describe my rising sign. Expressive, creative. And Sagittarius, travel, higher learning, thirst for new experiences, philosophical, questing, seeking. So those are all kind of the fire sign kind of keywords. And let's see, Avia said, I like how in Thoth system the pages are Venus and the element. And let me tell you, when Will from Atypical Tarot took us through the Thoth system in Tarot Summer School from Ethany Dawn, it was a little bit mind blowing, and I really tried to keep my mind and heart open, and because there were a few times where I was kind of like, oh man, I might need to adjust how I think about the signs and the cards. But then I kept pulling back into this deck and how it kind of aligns with what I feel. Leo rising are the best. That's me. And as a Pisces sun and a Capricorn moon, I feel like those two signs keep my Leo rising in check. Yes, Clumsy, it is a beautiful card. I really, really like it. I love this. I love this deck a lot. So now, so then the Knight of Wands, and you can see some of it's like a circular, like the Zodiac circle, and you can see a little bit of it up there. It's kind of hard to see on some of them. Like on the Aries, you'll be able to see like a little edge of the Pisces. So this is Leo energy, but here's the thing. So this is in this deck, it's 2/3 Leo, 1/3 Cancer, because that is the sign that happens right before it. So it's leading from that into it, but more of it lands in the Leo. And this is where I'll be honest with you. What I just said was me just reading. It's not me understanding astrology fully, where it lands in the month and where this card lands on top of it. Because my astrology is still very 101. And my astrology is pretty much just zodiac signs and how they relate back to tarot. Um, let's see. So yeah, I do think they are beautiful cards for sure. Gemini Sun, though, I love it. So all right. So then the Queen of Wands, and you can see a little bit of the Pisces here. So then Aries is coming like up next. So the Queen of Wands is 2/3 Aries and then a third Pisces. So I do relate a little bit to her as a Pisces. I always thought it in the beginning, I thought it was because she was Leo. But then as I dug it, this was years ago, as I dug in, I was like, okay, she's not so much that. But yeah, so she's a little bit more of Aries energy. And then so that's Pisces, that's Aries Queen, and then with the King, so you can see the Sagittarius with a little bit of Scorpio there. So the King of Wands is Sagittarius 2/3, and then a third Scorpio energy. So say you're reading, and this is where I like to give practical kind of stuff. If you're reading and it's like the last card of Celtic Cross, and it's like the outcome is you know King of Wands, I would love for input. How might you read that outcome card for the Celtic Cross, and you get the King of Wands? What might you say? For me, I might say something like, and I'm scrolling down to my keywords, I might say, okay, there might be some, if the question led me on, education, I say, okay, there's definitely some higher learning. There's a thirst for new experiences, or there's movement, or there's travel involved in my outcome. So if maybe the original feeling or question might have been, should I go on vacation or whatever, and the outcome is this, then I'd say, yeah. But if the outcome is me at work and I get this, it might be, okay, I need to move, or I need to have a better understanding of my boss, or I might need to step into my Sagittarius. So say Sagittarius is your moon or your rising, or it's somewhere else in your chart. The outcome might be that you need to step into more of that, kind of, energy, seeking new experiences, maybe teaching more. So that's where it might, kind of pop in. It's the energy that querents embody in the end. Cool. Very nice. Very nice. And then shifting into the cups. So once again, the pages will be kind of encompassing all the signs of the water sign: Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. And then I love this card right here because I'm a real water sign. So there's your Scorpio according to the way I work and the way this deck is connected to. And you can kind of see the little symbol right up there. So there are a little bit of keywords there because there's that with the Libra. And as you can see, it's a third Libra. So Scorpio, Knight of Cups is Scorpio 2/3 with a little bit of Libra there as well. And then here's the Queen of Cups, which it's so funny. I used to so resonate with her until I was like, oh, she's Cancer energy. And didn't anymore. And then when I found out it's a third Gemini, no offense, Geminis, but I really shied away from it. I think my Gemini aversion could be mainly because growing up with my older brother, who was a Gemini, who we were night and day, black and white, butted heads. When I was a child in a walker, he tried to kill me. So just even to this day, we're total opposites, total opposites. So, and every Gemini, every male Gemini I come in contact with, I'm always apprehensive, even before I know they are. The female Geminis, there's a moment of like intimidation because they speak it, boom, get it out. And I'm just like, well, okay, I don't want to offend you, but that's not how I feel. Um, so yeah, it's very interesting, the energy there. And then of course, what I really started connecting with and resonating with was the King of Cups as a Pisces. And you can see a little bit of Pisces with the Aquarius up there. And again, I resonate so much more with Aquarius than like Gemini. Um, and as you can see, so the interesting thing is, so here are all the water signs with a third of what? Air: Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. So yeah, yes. I just saw your LOL, Alvia. So there are the water signs, and kind of stepping into, again, the pages of swords, kind of encompassing Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, and all of their 1/3 are the earth signs: the Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. So Connie, my mom is Gemini and has narcissistic tendencies. I'm not saying anything. King of Cups, the counselor. Yeah, yeah. I agree with that statement. Absolutely clumsy. Because I felt like a counselor so many times in my life. And when I went to counseling for 9 years on and off, I remember thinking, "God," this was a little bit of arrogance in me, but I remember thinking, either I knew how to manipulate my counselors to not make me dig any deeper, or I was naive enough to think they were just not pushing me hard. But it was almost like I was able to avert so much, and that's probably why I was in counseling for so many years, because I didn't do the work. Where now it's just like, okay, I need to just listen to you and and do the work that you're telling me. So, page swords. So here is the Knight of Swords, which I absolutely love. Knight of Swords energy. This beautiful Aquarius energy, which again, as I'm saying this, I'm realizing because Pisces, King of Cups, has got a third of Aquarius in it. One of my nephews is Aquarius, and just we connect so well. He was one of the nephews and nieces that every time I walked into the house of a family gathering, he was the first one to jump up and run and give me a hug. And, Aquarius energy, let me just kind of pull up my cheat sheet here. you know this is a funny thing: detached, intelligent, social, rebellious, individual, logical, utopia, groups, which is funny because I can be a little detached. um, um, Not so much rebellious in my personality, very social, a little unorthodox. But for me, Pisces, which is that adaptable, compassionate, psychic, creative, spiritual, escapist, yes, dreamer, non-discriminatory. Yeah, that definitely, those are definitely some keywords that I can resonate with. And then the Queen of Swords, Libra. My husband is Libra. And one of the coolest things someone told me about Libras was they love to balance things. They love to make sure everybody's happy. But when everything's running smoothly, they feel like, well, I don't have a job. What do I do? So they may either inadvertently or intentionally throw a wrench into things just so they can come back in as the savior and balance things out again. And I thought to myself, my goodness, I've witnessed that, you know, with my husband before. But Libras, that key words are that art, beauty, harmony, peace, balance, relationship, sharing, partnership. My husband hates it when I'm out of town. It's probably because he feels unbalanced. When he's out of town or out of the house, I'm like, yes, I get time by myself, and I'll go on a vacation by myself, like a retreat by myself. So yeah, peacemaker, mediator, definitely a lot of that cool stuff there. So clumsy. I always felt you always felt with Aquarius. No two are alike. My dad was an Aquarius. We were very close. You know, and I'm trying to think. I don't know enough Aquariuses, but intuitively, I feel like you're right. Like no two are alike. I feel that. With a lot of other signs, I'm like, there's always that just that stink of the same sign within them. Um, Even though I know, again, in my limited 101, I realize in your chart is basically every sign. So there's an influence of every sign or the absence of every sign. So I like to think your sun sign is the sign that most influences you naturally, innately. Your rising sign is the one that the world often sees you as. And, when I think of Leo rising, for me, I'm like, I know what people see me as, but I'm like this just geeky, nerdy, psychic Pisces guy. And then your moon sign is what you often keep hidden, only let a few people see, very kind of private, at home, not out to the public. And I'm Capricorn. Um, and that is, I love numbers. I balance my checkbook. I'm very frugal. I hate to waste. I am pretty money driven, and that was an issue for me. I had to pull back and become more people driven and service oriented because the money could get in the way of my manifesting. And then my friend, my King of Swords, Gemini. So Gemini also has a little bit of Taurus energy, so a third Taurus. And I do get along with Tauruses, but I don't feel a connection with them a lot of times. And here's a funny story: my niece, the first grandchild and only girl, was a Taurus. And because I wasn't really into kids or whatever, I never really held her that much or whatever. But we always joked around that that's why she wasn't. We didn't have a connection whatsoever. I adore her. She is a strong, wonderful, stubborn child, and we have a great relationship now. But like we're talking like when she was 1 or 2, she was just like, she wasn't sure about me. So it was so funny that, picking up that there's a little bit of Taurus. And then, of course, like I said, the Gemini energy from this King of Swords is pretty powerful. All right. So then the pages. So here we got the Page of Coins. And once again, I feel like they encompass all the earth signs, the Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. And of course, all the 1/3 are fire signs, Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. And I love the color green. So these cards, and I want to show you this. So look how beautiful green this is. But when I hold this card up in front, look what happens. The lighting or something makes it brownish and blue. It is so, isn't that bizarre? So this is the true color right here. But that's like, so like I look at myself and I'm thinking, I wonder how different I look to everybody. So Nancy said Taurus Sun, Scorpio rising, Aries moon here. Wow. Very nice. Very nice. So it'll be cool to see, to dig back for you, to everybody, to dig back and see where your signs fall in the cards, the what do we call these court cards? But then also look at where your 1/3 connects and see how that feels. So if you need me to go back over those, I can, and maybe I can cut and paste and post these somewhere too. I can probably do that in the chat box over here. So let me see if I can cut and paste. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see if it did it. It might have been too much. Don't worry, Mitch, you're not green on green screen. Okay, thank you. That mix, right? Right. Most of my so Avia, most of my chart is water, then Earth, weird having Gemini Sun. Ah, yeah. So yeah, it would let me cut and paste, so we're okay. Oh, I got rid of something. Bum bum bum. So let me get it back because there we go. Because I like to have that on that side. So all right, and then moving on. So Queen of Coins. Did I talk about the Knight? So Knight of Coins is Taurus energy with a little bit of Aries coming, as you can see the Taurus and the Aries. So typically the 1/3 is the sign previous. The 1/3 is the sign previous. That's one thing I found out. Um, so Anne, hi Anne, Aries Sun, Capricorn Moon, Sagittarius rising. So there's a little bit of fire there. Nice. So, and then the Queen of Coins, which I adore this card. Just again, the green I love so much, but it's Capricorn, so this is kind of my moon. And then it's a third Sagittarius, and my mom was a Sag, and we got along. It's funny because you know, Capricorn is my moon, and I think of the times that my mom and I connected the best was when we were just she and I, just sitting by the pool when I was finally like old enough to drink. I remember I was drinking Mai Tais in the Keys. Now we neither one of us drink at all. We've both been sober for years, but yeah, it's interesting thinking like, okay, my moon sign maybe where I really connected to her as a Sagittarius, as a Pisces. So. Um, we're all unique. Yeah, I love it. And then so finally rounding out the King of Coins, which is Virgo with a little bit of Leo in there. So another beautiful card. Again, just love the color and love that green energy. So yeah, so there is just kind of the personalities. And what questions do you have about like reading? Because again, I love to put things into practical perspective. So if you were doing a reading and like the question was, how's Friday night the day gonna go? And you pull the Knight of Cups, which is Scorpio in our study today. How's Friday night gonna go? You might look at this as a emotional, but you might see it's maybe a little more focused and driven. There could be an intenseness to it and maybe a persistent. Let's say you get to the date and they're late and trying to get there, but traffic is difficult. Would you say let's cancel? Well, if Scorpio card pops up, you might say no. Let's be persistent. Be determined. Let's do this. Make sure you get it again. Driven, ambitious. How's the date gonna go? And you pull. Let's see. Let's say you pull Queen of Swords. Then you might look at this Libra energy. How's the day gonna go? Very harmonious. Very balanced, very peaceful. Um, yeah. So clumsy, I'm Taurus with Sun in Leo, and my moon is in Sagittarius. Nice. So many readers who do psychic work in public seem to have a waning moon. I've noticed that a lot when your moon is in the previous sign to your sun. Okay, very interesting, including me. So, so I'm So my moon is Capricorn. So that's from Pisces, Aquarius. So it's 2 back. So does that make it waning or not? I don't, that's where you'd have to kind of include me with that. So you said including you, your Taurus moon, Gemini sun. Cool. So yeah, so again, I like practical stuff. So let me know if you have any other questions as we kind of, bring this to a close. I appreciate you hanging out with me today. And most likely a week from yesterday, so this coming Saturday, I'm going to go through the astrological signs for each suit, and I may do all 4 in one day and just kind of push through, or I may break it down into 2. Just depends. So clumsy, a flirty persistent call, because I always see the Knight of Cups as a little bit of a charmer. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Um, okay, so yes, Alvia, that is waning. So the moon is right before. Okay, cool. So Connie, I'm a Sun, Scorpio, moon in Capricorn. Cool. So we have the same moon, Capricorn. MA, hey, good morning. I'm glad you're here. We're almost done, but we're glad you're here. We're glad you're here. So any final questions about anything? Let me see if I can kind of cut and paste this. It wouldn't let me do too much. So, okay, so Terror of Dreams. So there's kind of like the fixed stuff. And let me see if I can pop this in real quick. It may be jumbled a little bit. So yeah, it's a little bit jumbled, but let me go ahead and just do it for all of them, just so they're there. Because I can't see when I cut and paste, I can't see what it looks like. So, and then sword. So yeah, again, let me know if you have any questions as I'm cutting and pasting. Tarot of Dreams by Giro Marchetti. And and it's been produced, let's see, I think US Games. I think it's US Games mass produced. But yeah, so this is a nice big box. I have a self-published one, which I really love, from Chiro. It's a little bit smaller. The cardstock is just a little more thin, it's not thin in a bad way, but once I could buy the mass-produced deck, I was like, oh yeah, I'll be using that more to keep the good one, to keep the good one safe. So Tarot of Dreams. So let me do the final coin paste just so you can see it. So, all right, let me see if there are any questions. What you got that? What was the name? Thank you, Alvia. Thank you. So I appreciate you hanging out with me, everybody. So yeah, and let's see what else. I posted my weekly tarot energy forecast yesterday, so it's on my YouTube channel. Once a month, I do the Wellness Universe's monthly forecast. And I got my website, I kind of updated it, so it's looking kind of fancy and fun. And I'm posting things there, some blogs and vlogs. So just get a little more action there. So again, thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful day, night, weekend, wherever you are. And if you have any questions, you can always private message me or tag me, so I'll see it. And thanks for sharing, retweeting, posting, subscribing, all that good stuff. And if you want to support me or the best way to support any content creator is, just share, share their content, like them, subscribe. But then also I put a virtual tip jar if you want to see those things there. And then my website is there if you want to pop over and see it. So, all right, I'm going to close it down. I say thank you so much. Namaste. Until next time. Bye, everybody.